Oh. Oh.
Who's this? Who's that?
Hi, baby. Hi, Martha.
Hi.
How you doing?
I have my little darling here with me.
Okay, well, let's
Yes.
do some filming with your little
Hey,
darling.
Look at you could push. Mm-hmm.
So, what's your full name, date of birth, and location of birth?
Martha Jane Alcott Paul. I was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut, February 22nd, 1932.
Okay. And did you know your grandparents at all?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know them well?
Uh-huh.
What were your grandparents' names?
Jenny Fuller Pike and Wilbur Luther Pike.
Is that your mom's?
That's my mother's parents.
Right.
My father's parents, no, I did not know.
You did not know that?
No.
Now, your mother's parents, do you know where they were born?
Yes, they were born in Danbury, Connecticut.
And did they live there most of their life?
Yes, they did.
And anything interesting or unusual about them?
Well,
What do you
yes,
remember about them?
after many years, my grandfather was transferred to Bridgeport, Connecticut, and he was then, after years, a railroad engineer within New York, New Haven, Hartford Railroad. It took him really that long to reach that position. For years, when his kids were growing up, he was simply on the spare board, which meant that he only worked when other engineers could not work, and he had a couple of other jobs as well.
Now, you were born in Bridgeport. Did they live in Bridgeport at the time?
My grandparents?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
they did.
lived,
Yes.
So you did see them?
Oh, yes, very frequently, right.
Now, your father's parents, do you know what their names were?
Catherine Grant Alcott and George Ellsworth. No, oh, wait a minute. I'll think of it. Charles H. Alcott.
Okay.
And they were born in, let's see, my grandmother was born in Troy, New York, and my grandfather was born in Thomaston, Connecticut, and worked with the Seth Thomas Clock Company. And he had a big farm in Thomaston where my father, George, was born.
Was the farm still in the family when you were growing up? Or?
No. They sold the farm in Thomaston when my dad was about 12 years old, and my grandfather bought a hotel on the beach in Milford, Connecticut. A total departure from being a farmer and a clockmaker.
And how did that work out?
Well, it worked out pretty well. The thing I remember hearing about is that my father was a 12-year-old boy then, living on the farm, and he was excited about going to live at the beach, but he was going to miss the hunting and the fishing, about the farm and all. And the day that they moved, they got everything into horse and wagon, and it took them the entire day to drive from mid-Connecticut down to the beach. But the important thing about that was that when they got all ready to go, my grandfather said to my dad, Dink, the dog, he's not going with us. This was my father's dog from I don't know when. Big collie dog, lovely dog. And that's the first my father knew that they were not going to take the dog. The dog went with the farm.
And he was so heartbroken.
He was heartbroken.
He mentioned this a lot to you.
Oh, I heard that story so many times. The reason being that there were going to be hotel guests,
Right.
and my grandfather said, "Oh, we can't have anything like that."
Did he ever get dogs as an adult? Did you have dogs growing up?
No.
So he never got another dog?
No, just a hunting dog, a couple of hunting dogs, much later in life.
Not a real companion dog.
Oh, I mean, this boy living...
The dog's name was Dink?
Dink. Miles from anywhere, no playmates, nothing to amuse him except his fishing rod and his gun. And his dog.
Oh, my.
And the dog was, he was absent, but never questioned his father's wisdom or reasons. Yes, sir, you know. Also, my great-grandfather was living at that time. And I forget how old he was when he died, but he was way up in his 80s.
Well, that's one of the next questions is, who's the oldest person you can remember in your family as a child?
The oldest person I can
Would that be your great-grandfather?
I never saw him. No, I never saw my great-grandfather or even my grandmother Alcott. She died of kidney disease after they had the hotel for a while on the beach. For reasons unknown to me, my grandfather sold the hotel and bought another farm in Westport, Connecticut. And so he was farming once again when my dad went off to college. And my father hated it there. It took him away from Milford, and he had a wonderful high school life with people all around him, and it was a little town. And then when he went away to school, he was living in Westport, and he never knew anybody, and he just hated it there. So my grandmother died in Westport.
Okay, let me stop here, switch lenses, and then we'll talk about your parents.
My parents lived for a while when before I was born, and when I
Yeah. Well, first off, what are their names?
Louise Pike Alcott and
Louise
George
Pike
Ellsworth Alcott.
Okay. And do you know when they were born?
My mother was born in Danbury, Connecticut on October 24th, 1903. And my father was born in Thomaston, Connecticut on June 5th, 1899.
Oh, so you just celebrated their 100th birthday.
Yeah, we thought about
Yeah.
that too.
Oh.
And my father attended Fordham University in New York and Pratt Institute in New York, and served for a short time in the U.S. Army. He was, what did they, I don't know what they called it. It was like ROTC, but it was something different then. And he always said that, yes, he spent most of the war, World War I, safe at the college. The SATC was the program, and the guys called it safe at the college. So.
Now, where did they live most of their lives?
Most of their life, they lived in Bridgeport before I was born, and until I was about 6 years old, and then my father built a house in Fairfield, Connecticut, and we moved out there, and brought my widowed grandfather with us.
Mhm.
And at various times, 3 or 4 of my mother's brothers.
Oh, spent time living with you. So
Yes,
you got
because
to know
they
your
simply
uncles.
could not live without my grandmother. They couldn't get along, they couldn't do anything, they couldn't iron a shirt, couldn't make a lunch. My grandfather was totally devastated, the first person in the world who ever lost a spouse. The boys were the same. They were in their early 20s, totally helpless as far as they were just devoted to my grandmother, and her death was a terrific blow.
And this was your mother's mother.
Yeah, my mother's mother.
What year did you say you were born in?
That I was born in 32.
32. Okay.
So that's how I grew up for, maybe 6 years with my grandfather, who by then had had a couple of strokes. He had to retire from the railroad. He was very depressed and crabby and quite impossible to
And
deal
your
with.
uncles that lived with you?
Oh,
did
they
have jobs?
eventually, yeah, they had jobs, but they just couldn't manage, So my mother ironed 20 shirts a week and did all their laundry, made all their different lunches. What she was trying to do in a nutshell was be my grandmother, and she was only like 32 years old.
Not all that.
Sounded like a good idea at the time to take them in. I think I think she found before too long.
So your mom never worked, of course. You had a full-time job at home.
Yes, she did, and she worked before. She worked for the telephone company before I was born, and a little bit after I was born.
And your dad, what was he doing?
My father was a mechanical engineer, and of course this was during the Depression. He had many jobs. Nobody pretty much had a job. And in fact, when I was born in February 1932, he was out of work. And he, during the Depression, I don't know how many, I would say 8 years, he just went from pillar to post, like a lot of people in the industrial East did. And quite frankly, World War II saved our life, because then he was very much in demand.
Do you have memories of those Depression years? Or?
No.
You were too
No,
young.
it's too small.
But it probably influenced you growing up, do you think?
Oh
through
yes,
them?
yes. Oh, it did. Sure.
But,
Yeah.
But basically, because he generally worked, times
Oh, he
were
worked.
too tough for your family.
Yeah.
compared to
No, it
others,
wasn't. And in those days, especially, families really helped each other.
Right.
My grandfather, whom I didn't know, that lived over in Milford, because he owned a couple of houses then after he sold that farm in Westport. He, for a while there, he was sending a big basket of food over to us every week when I was a baby. And, we had an apartment over a meat market in Bridgeport. No, I never had a clue. Because whatever they had, they gave to me
Right.
first. I was the spoiled only.
Right, you were a little
only
too
child.
young to really
Yeah,
feel
I
it.
was very spoiled.
You probably felt it more looking back on it as
Oh,
you
yeah.
got older and realized.
Right. Yeah.
Now, did you have any brothers or sisters?
No brothers and sisters.
Okay.
Ever.
Did you feel that you missed anything by not having them?
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
I felt very much.
And no dog either.
No dog, no animals. I had this house full of boys,
Uncles, Right.
3 or 4. My grandfather was wonderful to me. He was my playmate, my companion. He was absolutely wonderful. I don't know what I would have done without him. And, my mother really had too much to do. And, I have mixed feelings about all of that. It seemed like a lot was expected of me, and I was just a little kid.
A lot expected you in what way?
Oh, in school and piano.
High
and
standards.
high standards, oh yes. Yes, had to be perfect. Perfectly dressed, never get dirty. you know.
Too
Oh
much
yeah.
attention on you
Oh,
as the only child.
Oh
and
yes,
too much
indeed.
focus, yeah.
And yeah, it was. It was not all great. My father was wonderful. He was very good guy.
Now, most of your childhood years were spent in Bridgeport?
No, then when I was 6, we built this house in Fairfield, and moved into it with that whole family.
Is that nice? The water?
Probably
Sure.
probably. Right.
Built the house where?
In Fairfield,
In Fairfield.
Connecticut, right.
And uncles came with you?
Oh, indeed, yes. Oh, yes. Brand new house, totally unset up for anything like that.
Big house?
No, little Cape Cod.
And
My grandfather and one of the boys had one bedroom upstairs. The other bedroom, the other 2 boys had. So I guess there were 3. Yeah, there were 3.
and a bedroom for your parents?
And a bedroom downstairs for me, which was supposed to be a dining room, but it was my room.
Okay. So it was a little crowded in there.
Very much so. So we had no dining room with all those people, and it was crazy.
Sort of fun, I suppose.
It was. Much of it was great fun. Never boring. Never boring. A lot going on.
And so you spent the rest of your school and high school years in Fairfield?
Yes, I did.
And tell me what that was like. Any special hobbies? Any special chores?
Oh,
that
I
you hated
played
or loved?
piano. I did all the girl things: paper dolls, dollhouses, all of that usual stuff. I had everything but a brother or sister. And all of my friends did have those, and I felt like I really missed out. So I had a million friends, a million girls.
Oh, you did have a lot of girlfriends.
Oh,
You were a lot-
I did.
So it was more of a suburb than a country type setting.
Absolutely
Okay.
a
Oh, that's
suburb.
good.
Oh, it was a lovely town, still is. And I had a great neighborhood, wonderful neighborhood.
Any particular chores that you had to do around the house that
No.
you either hated or liked?
No, no, my mother wanted to do all that herself. My mother was the type, my grandfather paid for a cleaning woman for her because of all these people. And she used to clean right along with the cleaning woman.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's where you got your desire to clean constantly.
I didn't know I had that desire. It's more like a curse. Right.
I don't know, as long as it's fun.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What were your schools like?
They were wonderful schools.
Good school?
Oh yeah, great grammar
Okay.
school, good high school, very good Fairfield County High School.
How did you get to school?
I walked quite a ways. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And in high school, what did you do for fun with your high school friends? Did you like hang out smoking cigarettes behind the 7-Eleven, or? Of course, there was no 7-Eleven.
Not until much later. Like as a senior in high school, I did a few of those things. I lived in terror of my father finding out any of this. You know. Oh, yeah. They used to really mete out the punishment for nothing. You know, very strict, very
that's not good.
strict. I don't know what they thought I was going to do.
What year did you graduate high school?
1950. 1950.
And
Then I went to college in Virginia, girls' college, and I had a wonderful time there.
okay, we'll get there. We're moving slowly. We've got to finish
okay.
up with high school first.
Oh yeah.
During your high school years, were there any particular fads you remember? Anything, you know, like the hula hoop or stuffing into phone booths type nature that you remember?
No, not really. The only thing I remember was what they called the new look. I was a
New look?
sophomore in high school, and all the skirts and everything were down around your ankles, and that was like World War III in my house. Who ever heard of such a crazy thing as that? So my mother and I went to war over that. You know?
Over what? They raised from the ankles?
No, they went to the, you know, long
You mean
long
they used to be
wool
longer than
skirts.
the ankles?
No, they were, you know, normal, like,
Normal
you know,
skirts.
mid.
And all of a sudden everyone wanted them
Oh
longer?
yes, right.
How interesting.
Oh yeah, and wearing sweaters backwards, you know, that was considered.
So all of a sudden,
Very
in
far
the late
out.
40s, everyone wanted to like cover themselves more and wear sweaters,
I
baggy
don't know. It
clothes.
was
kind of
after
thing?
after the war.
Hmm.
I don't know. There were a lot of crazy things that.
Did you play any sports at all?
No, I wasn't into sports.
Right, yeah, women didn't play that many
No,
sports.
no,
back
we
then.
didn't have a big, you know.
Right. Were you
sport-
still playing piano in high school? Or?
No, I
So
gave
you
it
weren't
up.
in band or anything?
No, I gave it up. No.
During your high school years, did you have a best friend?
Oh yes.
What was her name?
What was my best friend's name? Nancy Gledhill.
Okay, I guess that answers the next question, which is, did you stay in touch? Are you still in touch?
For a long time we did, but she died in 1980 very sadly, you know, so, as
That's
many of my
sweet, yeah.
friends, there were really 5 or 6 of us that were very tight,
Mm-hmm.
and only 2 of us are left.
And do you still stay in touch with the?
Yes,
with
I do,
you?
I certainly do.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, yeah, and we had the usual boyfriends, and,
Yeah, how old were you when you started dating?
well, probably freshman in high school.
Do you remember the name of the first guy you kissed?
Oh, yes, that was in,
What was his name?
that would have been in 6th or 7th grade. It's about 7th grade, I think. His name was Howie Rowan,
Uh-huh.
and then that was grade school, and then we hooked up again in high school.
Oh,
And Oh, yeah, he was.
Did you go out for a while in high school?
Yes, we
So
did.
he's like your steady boyfriend for a while?
Not really, no. I mean, that, it was okay, you know, way back when, but, didn't exactly. In the first place, he went to Fairfield Prep, you know.
Uh-huh.
He didn't go to high school.
Ah, so there was. a
So
little
he
bit
was
of-
kind of
right.
out of the loop.
Which made it a little exotic, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, right. I had a very bad habit in high school, and that was, I would meet, this happened to me, stupid, 3 or 4 times. I would meet this guy
Mhm.
that I really liked, but other girls that I knew and didn't know him, then they sort of got to know him through me, and they're telling me how, you know, what a jerk he is. And he's homely, he's this, he's that. What did I ever think of? What did I ever see in this guy? And that's happened about 3 times. So, of course, like a dope, I broke up with him.
Mhm.
You know what? A couple of weeks later, one of them was going out with him. And I fell for that
Yeah,
one.
being out there.
And boy,
These weren't your close friends, though.
no, they
These are some
weren't.
other
Just friends I knew all my life. that,
You learned a good
oh,
lesson.
you're going with him.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
he? You know?
Go with your own instincts.
Oh
Okay.
boy, bad thing.
Hmm.
Always about the time that there was some big dance coming up that I'd find myself. Hmm.
When did you start driving?
Gee, I'm not sure. I think, I don't know if I was, I think I was not 16. I was older than that, but I don't remember. I might have been a junior or senior, junior maybe. Maybe I was 17.
Do you remember what the first car you drove was?
Yes, my father's vacuum shift Chevy.
What's a vacuum shift?
I can't believe this. Well, it was a stick shift on the side of the steering wheel that
Right.
did not wish to move.
Oh.
You know, those Chevys in those days were like trucks.
So it was called vacuum?
A vacuum
Did
shift.
they like work with a vacuum or something?
Well,
or
you had to really
jam it, huh?
you know, it would, and you throw out that clutch and get it in there. And my father taught me to drive, which was a total disaster. He was a horrible,
No driver's ed back then. huh?
no
Just
driver's
learn from
ed,
someone.
and you had to drive exactly like him, or you weren't any good at all. And he used to jam his foot down on top of my foot, you know, for the brake. I said, stop now, you know. Oh, and he was the sweetest guy that ever lived. He was a terrible
Driving.
driving
Really
teacher.
good. Do you remember the first car you ever owned?
Oh, do I ever? It was a Ford convertible.
Wow.
Oh, it was
What year was this?
It was really snappy. When I went to work on 1953,
Oh, so this was post college.
post-college, I made practically no money. I borrowed the money from my father. Al, did I ever pay my father back? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know if I ever did.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not worried about it right
No, no. He loved the car too. Oh, it had
Yeah.
black plaid upholstery
now.
inside.
What color was it?
It was red. It was in
Ah,
beautiful condition.
Oh,
It was
you-
not a new
yeah,
car, but
yeah.
it was really.
drove that all around town showing
I
off.
did.
Yeah,
It
great.
drove like a dream. It was.
Much better than that vacuum shift Chevy.
Oh God, that thing. Oh my Lord. But if you could drive that car, you could drive anything.
Tell me about your post high school years in your 20s. Did you go right into college?
Yes, I did.
And that was where?
In Virginia, in Bristol, Virginia. I did that because
What was
I
the
was
name of
Sullins College, a woman's.
Sullins?
Yes, a woman's college, and I did that for number one reason. I wanted to see another part of the country, and I wanted to get away from home,
Right.
just like.
the uncle still living at home?
Oh no,
at
they
that point?
only hung out for. It seemed like a
Right.
lifetime, but it was.
By high school they had moved on.
Oh
and your
yes, and my
grandfather was he?
grandfather had died
died, so-
in 50.
But you still wanted to get away from mom. and
Oh
dad.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. They were stern. they were tough parents, you know.
And they had no problem with you going away to school?
Oh, yes, they didn't
Oh, they
want me
didn't
to do that.
Did they even want you to go to college?
No,
They
no.
want you to stay home?
Oddly enough, my father was a college graduate, my mother was not, and he was totally against women being educated.
Hmm.
You're only going to get married anyway. That was my favorite.
Not very enlightened.
Very conservative, old-fashioned.
Now,
guy.
did you graduate from college?
Mhm.
So you were down in Virginia for 4 years?
Yeah.
Did you like living there?
I loved it. Oh, I loved it. It was completely different from the East. Now, this was a 2-year college.
It was a 2-year college?
Yes, it was not 4 years. I loved being there. I made wonderful friends there. I still have some of those friends.
Great.
It was everything I hoped it would be. We got married in 1955.
And how old were you?
I was 23.
Okay. And your spouse's name and date of birth?
Is Alfred Nairn Paul. He was born December 3rd, 1928.
Okay. Do you remember your first date with him?
Oh, yes.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. Let me see. We went to a party at a friend of his who lived on the beach in Norwalk, in Rowayton, Connecticut.
You met him there, or?
No, I had met him about 3 weeks before at a party that we went to. We had a mutual friend, and I met him there.
And so you went to the party on the beach and, and enjoyed yourself?
Oh, yes, I liked his friends. Really got
Liked him
along.
a lot.
Yeah.
How long did you know each other before you were engaged?
Oh, let me see, about 9 months.
And did you have a big wedding?
Yes, we did.
A lot of people? Do you remember?
There were about 200 people.
And where was it?
It was in my church in Fairfield, Connecticut, First Church of Christ Congregational in Fairfield.
Fun wedding?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Okay. Jumping back a bit, did World War II affect you at all?
I was only 10.
Right.
No, not really. No. My mother's youngest brother went into the Navy. He was the only one that I knew well that served, and our whole family went ballistic because he had to go.
Everyone was upset.
Everyone was enormously upset.
He was able to come back?
Yes, he was a Seabee. Had quite an interesting naval career, and but it wasn't without problems in the family because he and his closest brother were only 11 months apart. So the older one didn't have to go, and my uncle did. So they had a lot of words over that. Okay.
What about the Korean War or the Vietnam War? Did either one of those wars have any impact in your life?
Sadly, no. I was.
Well, that's actually, don't
I
say
was-
sadly, that's a good thing.
I was really oblivious, especially during Vietnam. I had 2 little kids. We were struggling with a new house, and no, it didn't. I'm really ashamed to say neither of those wars. No, they didn't seem to have much of an impression on me. I'm learning a lot more about it now, and feeling a lot of things about it now that I should have.
Now, there were a few years
ago.
between when you graduated college and when you got married. Did you have different jobs during those years?
I had 2 different jobs. I first worked for the American Shakespeare Festival Theater, which was starting up in Westport, Connecticut. And I worked for them for about a year until they folded. And that was really fun. That was real. I was like like a personal assistant to the director of this thing, and I got to go to New York. I got to meet a few famous people.
Nice.
You know, that was great. I was heartbroken when that quit. It was an easy job. Nobody knew what they were doing anyway. And then I got a job at the local weekly newspaper, which published, I think we published four local papers. And that's, I was there when I met Al.
Okay, and what was the other job that you had?
I worked for the local newspaper. We published four local, different towns in Connecticut papers, and I really enjoyed that too. It was a good job.
Did you stop working after you got married?
Yes. No, I didn't. No, I didn't until about a year later. Al had to go into the service, and then I quit. I had to quit, because I went
So
with
you
him.
with the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
When you were young, growing up, did you want to have a career? Was there something?
No,
you wanted to be?
I
You weren't
enjoyed
really sure.
what I did,
Right.
but
What did you study when you were in college?
I studied journalism and theater, stuff like that.
Okay.
English, yeah.
With Al in the Navy, have you guys always had enough money to live comfortably, would you say? You've always been okay?
With Al in the Navy. Well,
So the Navy's not a high-paying job.
no, it wasn't, but we had so many perks that,
Right.
we had a beautiful apartment, spacious. If you didn't have any furniture, the Navy got you furniture, and you could have it reupholstered or refinished or anything else. I think you made $3.25 a month.
So you've never felt a pinch, never had a real problem?
Well, we were struggling after the Navy. Yeah, it wasn't, it was one of the recessions, I guess.
Mhm.
And he got his old job back at Perkin-Elmer. But in the 4 years that we were gone, his associates had moved on. And he was behind in his career.
Tell me about your children.
Oh, my girls. Allison was born while Al was in the service. That was a wonderful experience, actually. It was the best thing that ever happened to us was when we went away. Because I got out from under the thumb of my parents. I had to get along. Al was a very independent person. I was certainly not.
Right.
But, we learned. We grew up is what we did, both of us.
Now, in other words, even after you were married, you still felt sort of under the influence of your parents?
No, because I was away.
Right.
I was away, but
Where were you and Al living?
we were living in Maryland outside
Oh,
of
okay.
Washington, D.C., and, we were surrounded by career people who had been
Right.
on their own independent for quite a few years, and we were really babes in the woods, no kidding.
And so Allison was born on the Navy base?
Yes, she was.
And what year was that?
That was 1957.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And,
A good baby?
oh, well, no. Very, she was very lively, very willful. Oh, yes. Not, compliant at all. No. Sort of like she is right now. And a mind of her own.
And what about Amy? What year was she born?
Amy was born in 65, and she was very good-natured, very good baby,
Oh,
very,
interesting.
very pretty baby.
Mhm.
Good little girl.
Easy to raise. Where
Oh,
was she
yeah.
born?
She was born in Norwalk Hospital, Norwalk, Connecticut.
Okay. So Al was no longer in the Navy?
No,
at
he
that
did his 4-year stint, and then we came home.
Now, in between, you lost a baby.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
that's
yeah.
right. Yes, we did.
Um,
That was a very hideous experience.
Mhm.
Totally unexpected.
and what was his name?
His name was Douglas, and he lived to be about 5.5 months old. He was not supposed to live 5 minutes, And he did, yes, he had none of the even, I think we did have an autopsy. It turned out that his brain did not develop after the 12th week. It just
And
quit.
This was, of course, back then a total surprise.
Oh.
They did not have the medical
No,
ultrasounds and
no,
things that they have
no,
now.
nothing like that.
So you were expecting a normal
Oh,
baby and you were
absolutely,
just
yeah, uh-huh. In
shocked.
fact, well, I guess spinal taps and blood tests would, yeah, it probably would have, if they called it, he was a microcephalic baby. I think they could have determined this now. I believe they could.
And
But
this-
to do what?
right, to just abort him early. I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could.
This was very difficult for you.
Oh, a total shock, completely devastating, just completely devastating. He was so basically impaired that he did not even have a swallowing reflex. So, when he was expected to die, did not die. At 3 months, they operated on him, gave him a gastronomy tube. So he was fed by special nurses with this gastronomy tube. And of course, the hospital kept him all that time. 3 months.
So he never came home.
He
was in
never
hospital.
came home. Today I would have been taking care of him, no question.
Right.
I'd have to learn how to do that. But in those days, insurance was fabulous. Hospitals were completely run differently. A lot of caring, compassion, the whole thing. You know, our local hospital. And he went to a pediatric nursing home after 3 months, which was a horror. There were only 2 in Connecticut. We looked at both of them. And so he died. He died there. Not of any of his problems. He died of infection from that
Yeah.
too.
How did you get through that? What helped you get through those times, those years?
I got through it badly. Very badly. Like I told you, I was a spoiled only child. Nothing terrible had ever happened to me in my life, and I wasn't going to stand for it now. Without my mother and father, I don't know what I would have done. Al was wonderful. He was trying to work and keep the family, you know, together, keep the family going. And he had a completely different take on the whole thing. And for a couple of months there, we were saying, "Oh, he's better," you know. Al is saying this, you know, and his parents. "Oh, I think he's better," you know. He could be all right. You don't know, you know. I never bought into that. I knew he was ruined, you know. But every once in a while somebody would talk me into it, and we would get, "Oh, well, yeah, you know, maybe we could bring him home. Yeah, I think baloney." Then he'd get pneumonia and sink even further. So, no, Al was not terrific to deal with. He was sure he was going to pull out of it.
Just trying to be optimistic.
Yes, he is, you know. But my parents just took it all on the chin. I went to stay with them after I got out of the hospital because I had to come home without the baby. For reasons unknown to me, I don't know. I went to their house. And, well, they wanted to help, you know. So I didn't do anything but sleep. And for a while we'd go to the hospital, and then we couldn't stand it, and we would stop going. Then we would go, oh, horrible. And of course we had to deal with Allison.
How old was she?
She was 4.
She was 4.
But we had built this whole thing up. You know, you're going to have a baby brother, a baby sister, and here. So what we did, we told her the truth, that he was very sick. And she said she wanted to see him, so we said, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so we took her, because he looked fine. He
he did.
looked
Oh, okay.
fine.
Just, you know.
Didn't have anything upstairs. and he looked absolutely fine. So we took her to the nursing home a couple of times, and she accepted that, and she understood. You know, it was a good thing to do. Probably the only good thing we did.
Did you enjoy being a parent?
Yes, I did. I really did.
What was the most difficult thing about it?
What was the most difficult thing about it? Oh, I think illnesses. You know, we were very frightened of that, and they never had anything but the normal stuff. There was
Right.
really no reason to.
What was the easiest thing about it?
They were so much fun. They were so cute. The things that they said, we just enjoyed them because they were very special to us.
Any very unusual or interesting stories from when the girls were small?
No, not really. They had just a completely, I think, you know, normal, I guess, childhood. No, they were both very good students and good kids. Nothing, just a lot of fun.
If you had to do it all over again, would you change the way you raised them at all?
Probably yes. I probably would a
Would you do
little bit.
different?
I would have not have been so tough like on Allison as I was. You know, probably some of that my mother, you know, did for me or with me, rubbed off. I didn't know anything else, you know. No, when Amy came along, we changed quite a bit. We were a lot easier on her. We praised her a lot more, you know, than we did Allison. Oh yes, we tried to keep her, you know, positive and have good self-esteem, better than Allison.
Tell me about your politics. Are you conservative or liberal?
No, we're liberal. I'm liberal. Oh yeah. And I must say that I wasn't. It was only when my girls started working on me and we had many, many, many talks about such things, and all of a sudden I just switched. Oh, my religious beliefs. Well, I was raised in the Protestant religion, and I'm happy with that, and I'm going to stick with it. In fact, it has improved quite a bit over the years. I'm really kind of, you know, pretty much immersed in that. It's defined itself for me, and it's grown, you know, since
So you go to church
yeah,
every week?
yeah, just about.
Did you go to church this morning?
No.
No? You skipped today? Because
Yeah,
of Rachel? Uh-oh.
Right. Oh yeah, my downfall.
Yeah, you don't
My
skip a
downfall.
lot though, do you?
No, not a lot. We happen to, we liked both of our churches, but especially the one here in New Milford. Real people and nice people, and our minister is excellent. He's just a terrific guy and a good preacher.
So you like it as much for the social aspects as
Yeah.
for the religious aspects?
Oh yeah, right.
And,
I like them both.
Did you ever check out any other religions?
Yes, we have, because Allison and Steve are Episcopalian now, and we like that too. In fact, I like it more than Al does. I could go that route. It's very prayerful, very reverent, very there's a lot of ritual, you know, that gets you into the right frame of mind, and you can easily fall back on it. You always know what's coming, and I just like a lot of the ritual.
You just slide over this way just a little bit. I get this. Okay, good.
More?
No, that's fine. Let me- Okay.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me about religion?
No,
No?
no, I
Yeah,
think
okay.
it's a very private thing, really.
Okay. What do you do for exercise?
I swim a little, I walk a little. That's about
Okay.
it.
Do you have any bad habits now?
Uh, I don't think so.
What about in the past?
Well, I did smoke for many years.
Alcohol?
Yeah,
You ever drink too much?
yes.
Yeah. Have you gotten drunk?
I thought this was gonna be easy.
There's
Oh
nothing wrong
yes,
with
in our
getting drunk.
younger days,
Yeah.
we had our moments.
You see, I'll never mention that.
He
They-
didn't
No,
too much
I-
partying. Oh, you bet.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Hanging out with all the Navy guys?
Oh, they're bad.
Yeah.
They're very bad, and then
Let's go re-interview.
you know our life.
So, would you match them drink for drink?
No, we
No.
never did anything
No.
like that. No.
But I mean,
No.
you'd be there drinking with him and the guys.
Yeah, but
or-
I never. Yeah, I mean, there were other wives and everything. There it was
Right.
a very social.
Mhm.
And then we had the same thing at home. We had tons of friends,
Mhm.
and we used to do all kind. Oh, the parties we had and all that stuff. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you get good and drunk and then stumble home and fall into bed.
No, it wasn't
not
that
quite-
bad.
Not quite
Not
bad.
that bad.
But just get a little tipsy.
Yes, not that bad.
Yeah, okay. No other bad habits though?
No, I don't think so.
Have you ever been the victim of a crime?
No,
Have you ever committed a crime?
no,
Have you ever been in a serious accident?
never.
Have you ever saved anyone's life?
No,
Has anyone ever saved your life?
no,
Have you ever had major surgery or a major illness?
no way. It's very dull.
What's the most stressful or scariest thing that ever happened to you?
Well, it would have to be the birth of our son.
Yeah, Douglas.
Oh yes, definitely.
And what helped you get through it? What do you think was
Oh,
best?
well, my husband but mostly actually my parents.
Yeah.
They were wonderful.
Glad. Good.
In fact, I could have still been there. Finally, after I was at their house for probably a month, my mother said to me, "You know what? It's time for you to go home and pick up your life. Whatever has been dealt to you, you've got to start living it because this is going to be your life, and you've got a 4-year-old, and she's beginning to feel, the repercussions here of this tragic event, and she's depending more on me and Daddy and you are letting us take care of her, and you're just fading off into the. You got to go home now." And,
That sounds like the appropriate time to say
Oh,
that.
yeah.
A month. Is
Oh, it
probably
definitely
about-
was. So one way or another, I did.
Good. Sounds like she had very, very good judgment.
Yes, she did. She really did.
Have you ever had an experience you would describe as supernatural or psychic?
No.
No?
Not into that.
Do you believe in the afterlife?
Yes.
What do you usually dream about?
Oh. Crazy things. My recurring dream is the usual, the one where you have to take this major test and you haven't even read the book, you don't know anything about French, can't possibly do it, and things keep getting in your way so that you're late for the exam. Everything is bad, bad, bad.
What's the most amazing thing that ever happened to you?
Amazing. Oh, I guess that we had the 2 girls.
Okay. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you?
Embarrassing. Oh, there must be 100 little things that I can't. Nothing important, nothing worth mentioning, really.
Sounds like. Do you want to drink? Do you want to stop for a drink at all?
No.
No. Okay. Have you ever met any famous people?
Oh yeah, quite a few.
Who have you met?
Oh, who have I met? met Ronald Reagan, I met George Bush.
Really?
Yes. Uh-huh.
A close-up meeting or just a quick handshake?
Yeah,
if they're going
that
by?
kind of
Okay.
thing. Hello there,
Mhm.
you know.
Any famous actors or actors?
Oh yeah, I met Rodney Dangerfield. I met Paul Newman.
Tell me about Paul Newman. Did he have blue eyes?
Yes, he does. He's very short.
Oh.
Very short. He lived in Westport. I worked in Westport after, long after all of these questions that you asked. When the girls were gone. Oh, I really met quite a few actually. And when I was working for the Shakespeare Theater, I met the famous director Lawrence Langner.
Now, you just mentioned you were working at Westport. This was after the girls had moved out of the
Yes.
house. What kind of work were you doing there?
I worked for the town clerk of the town of Westport.
Was that enjoyable?
Oh yeah, it really was. I only worked part-time.
Mhm.
I worked every afternoon from 12 to 4. And there are a lot of people who hang out in Westport who live there that was great.
What was the favorite vacation you've taken in your life?
Favorite vacation. Probably to Europe.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And the most beautiful place or thing you've ever seen?
Hawaii, I guess.
Do you have any major hobbies now?
No, I don't. Just reading.
Okay. Did you have a favorite pet during your life?
No.
No, you didn't have, out of all the pets, no favorite?
No, I didn't even have any pets.
Well, wait a minute, what about Sherry and...
Oh, no, she was not a
and the
big...
cat you had before Sherry?
No, they were not that great.
Okay. What would you consider the biggest change in the world during your lifetime?
The biggest change in the world? Oh, probably World War II.
You mean the world before and after it?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think are the most important inventions?
Oh, that's a good one. Electricity.
Well, I mean, most important invention during your lifetime. Electricity.
Oh, my lifetime.
Yeah, electricity was before you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're not
Right.
quite
in
that old.
my lifetime, most important invention. Probably television. Medical stuff.
What is the best advice you could give your grandchildren?
My grandchildren. Oh, to grow up to be nice people.
Is there anything you've always wanted to do but haven't?
But haven't. I want to go to Italy. Want to do but haven't. That's probably the only thing.
Just down in Unit 10, the first cul-de-sac
Yes.
Woohoo!
the widow.
Can you take
Oh, Louise.
I wasn't sure, so I didn't call her by name, but I thought it was Louise, although
She's
you
chilly, Al. Is it getting chilly?
I didn't
What
think
did
so.
he doing? Boy, she really did
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
push on her nose. Girl in the whole wide world. Yes, that's what Grandma says too, doesn't she, huh? Oh, my favorite baby girl. Daddy gonna ask me that question. You say me.
Yeah, we don't want her to distract you.
Oh.
These go into your head. Which is, what's your favorite style of music?
Just pop, I guess.
Okay. What's your favorite car? If you could have any car.
Oh, my favorite car is a BMW.
Okay. Your favorite musical instrument?
Piano.
Musical group?
Oh, you know who I love? The Bee Gees.
Okay. Favorite song?
Favorite song? Oh, there were too many.
Pick one or two.
Oh, I can't even. Oh, I love Green Dolphin Street. I like. Oh, what else do I like?
Yeah. Maybe next song question, favorite singer will jog your memory.
Oh. No, not really. Her name slipped. Aretha Franklin, and I can't think of the song that she sings
Okay.
that I like.
Favorite movie star?
Jack Nicholson.
Favorite movie?
Reds.
Favorite artist?
Artist. Painter?
Or photographer?
Frederick Church.
Favorite painting?
Can't think of that right off.
Favorite poet?
William Wordsworth.
Favorite poem?
Oh, you'll have to go on.
Okay. Favorite TV program?
Favorite poem, Crossing the Bar.
Okay.
Favorite TV program?
Mm-hmm.
Playhouse 90.
Okay. Favorite author?
Oh boy, this is really hard. Favorite author. We'll have to come back to that.
Favorite book?
There's so many.
Yeah, it can just be lately. Doesn't have to be of all
Lately,
time.
huh? Lately, I liked The Secret Life of Bees.
Okay. And who wrote that?
You had to ask me. My memory, you see, is failing me.
Okay. That's okay.
Uh,
How about favorite season?
Summer.
Favorite tree?
Palm tree.
Flower?
Orchids.
Holiday?
February 22nd. Washington's birthday. My
Favorite-
birthday.
Right. Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite athlete?
Favorite athlete. Doug Flutie.
Okay. Favorite animal?
Dog.
Okay. Favorite meal?
Steak.
Favorite fruit?
Cherry.
Vegetable?
Asparagus.
Favorite candy?
Chocolate.
Favorite cookie?
Hate cookies.
Favorite drink?
Wine.
Favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant. Oh boy. Favorite restaurant. Oh, what is it? You have to go on.
Okay. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate.
Favorite board game?
I guess Monopoly.
Okay. Favorite card game?
Bridge.
Okay. That's it. Anything else?
No, can't think of
I
anything.
say hi, Rachel.
Oh, no, that was kind of fun.
Yeah. Quick, easy, relaxing.
Yeah. So
No
now,
big
now
deal.
you edit this and put
Your
them all
favorite
together.
ice cream is maple walnut, you idiot.
I know. I know.
Nice, Amy. We got that on
I
tape.
know. Hey, you're right.
Okay. Let's say maple walnut to the camera. It's still taping.
Okay, maple walnut.
Okay.
And I can't think of any. I can't.
And the other one you skipped was favorite author. What's her favorite author, Amy?
She likes Truman Capote a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I do. I have so many.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, say bye, Rachel.
Bye, Rachel.
See ya.
Bye, bye.